my name is Haley, and I am the administrative assistant with Grays. And this is Shannon, our director of proactive programming. And we're here to talk today about our team development services. So, Shannon, do you want to give us some information about what team development services we offer?
Yeah, so at Grays, we provide two primary programs for developing teams and cohesive cultures. And these are globally recognized programs that we are certified facilitators for. The first one I want to talk about is Everything DISC. What I love about Everything DISC is similar to other personality or kind of people knowledge assessments, if you will. DISC has about 90 years of research and practice behind it. So it's been around for a really long time. What I like about it is it's simple. I've taken a lot of personality assessments to try and see which ones I resonate the most with. And while many of them are equally as comprehensive and very helpful in gaining awareness around who we are, they are complicated. Some of them have multiple arrangements of, how things fit or multiple strengths, or there's just a lot of numbers, letters, and things to consider. Whereas DISC keeps it simple. There are four. You can have combinations of two, but ultimately there are four main styles, if you will. So I really like the simplicity of it. With that said, what I like about DISC is it focuses on the behaviors and recognizes that while we have comfort zones, we have areas of how we respond, react, handle, interact, those kind of things based on our experiences and our preferences, but that we can stretch and we can adapt and we can grow. So while this is our comfort zone, it's not where we're stuck. And it's not our excuse for staying stuck when we're talking about developing relationships or working within our team and within our organization. What I also love about DISC, and this part isn't part of their promotions, this is something that I have learned as I've been utilizing it, is as I study neuroscience, and neuroscience is gaining more traction, it has more technology behind it, so we're learning more about how the brain functions. Our neurosignatures that are most common are actually in alignment with the DISC model. So I love that even though it's been around for 90 years, current research is inadvertently validating its authenticity and its effectiveness. So that's the first one that we use. And we have multiple avenues within that. We have the Everything DISC Workplace, which allows you to get a broad understanding of each person's style within your organization, how they interact, how they can build relationships, how they can work better together. And it gives you a brief overview of maybe how they handled challenges or conflict. However, we also have the opportunity to dive deeper into management styles. So we offer a training that allows managers to really break down their interpersonal skills and how they show up. Also productive conflict, because let's be honest, conflict is hard. And so when we can understand our style and our comfort and how we tend to approach conflict, how others tend to approach conflict, we can start to figure out how to make that actually useful and beneficial. And then the other one is our Agile EQ, which really allows us to dive deep into the emotional intelligence side and how we take many of these tools, both the, interpersonal skills that are considered the hard skills or whatever, versus the soft skills, which let's be honest, the soft skills are the hardest skills to learn. But DISC does a great job of having these formalized training programs that really walk people through. Here's my comfort zone. Here's how I'm perceived by others. Here's how I perceive others. Now here's how we can work together effective. So I love that. The second program that we offer is the 5 Behaviors of a Cohesive Team. This has been around for about 20 years and is based off of the best-selling novel and author Patrick Lencioni, he runs a very successful leadership and work culture development organization. And his book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, really walks through what's impacting teams so they're not working together well. And it's really interesting in our industry because we are high functioning, if we're going to be honest, because the animals come first. So we will overcome a lot of things to make sure the animals are cared for. However, with that said, there are many of these behaviors and characteristics that are glaring in how we function and eventually impact and impede our ability to gain those results and to be consistent with them. So, what I love about this program, one, it has the cohesive team model, so we can actually look at a team and how they're functioning in regards to the 5 behaviors. It incorporates the everything disc into it so we can understand our comfort zones and how those play out. It also allows for a broader sharing in the personal development program where it's a half-day training. So the cohesive team can be a full day or a 3-day deep dive. And then the personal development is a half-day training that really covers the key concepts and how each individual shows up in those concepts. So we have an option. We can do maybe the leadership team, and then with the cohesive team program, and then we can do the entire staff with the personal development, so that while the leadership team is working on putting these into practice, the teams recognize, oh, that's what we're doing. Here's the terms we're using, and here's how it's starting to show up. So I really love how these two programs, while they can work separately, they can also work together. And so we can really then tailor the development program to the organization's needs and to their current cultural practices.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, how many times have you heard zookeepers say, oh, I do this because I don't like people and I love animals, but it's so important to learn how to work together for the animals' benefit and for their welfare. So yeah, that sounds awesome. I love that. Well, you mentioned both of these have been around for a really long time. Can you talk about why zoos might want to go with us as their facilitator? What kind of sets us apart from other people?
Definitely. And it kind of goes back to that animal component. So obviously for Grays, we're all zoo professionals, right? We've been in the industry, we've been in the field, we recognize our unique animal skills. And so we can take a lot of these facilitations, and I'll be honest with you, I have had these trainings from a corporate perspective. So I've had individuals who were corporately trained come in and try to teach a zoo. And they did a great job. The curriculum, the content was beautifully valuable. However, there are some uniqueness to our industry because when we're talking about results, like I mentioned, we're high functioning. We can get through the trust, we can get through the conflict, like we can avoid conflict like nobody's business and still have epic results. Most corporations can't pull that off for long, but because our motivation will do things to achieve animal care. So we can bring that unique perspective into the training and how it relates, because oftentimes with some of the skills, they're like, well, I'm not, like you said, I'm not a people person, I'm an animal person. Yes, but the skills are the same. You go into a training session with the idea of building one-sided trust. You are waiting for the animal to trust you. You're not going in with the expectation of, you need to trust me. But we approach our human comrades that same way, right? We look at them as like, well, you're a human, so you should know better. And we can bring that unique perspective. The other thing that Grays brings to the table is many corporations and other organizations maybe don't have some of the trauma experiences that we experience, right? We talk a lot about in our previous videos of critical incidents and what the terrible 10 are, and how for many of us, that's Tuesday, right? That's not a one-time experience. That's something that we hold on to and experience on a regular basis. Because of our training in assisting individuals in crisis, group crisis intervention, and mental health first aid, which again, we have lots of videos on those topics too, we're able to also recognize that while these tools are great, if you have healing to do, if you're still worried about the quality of life, or you're still processing that decision or that loss that happened a week, a year, 5 years ago, all the tools I share with you aren't going to land or resonate or be useful because you're not in the space to do it. So when we can partner the tools of these team developments while recognizing some of the healing that needs to happen, some of the processing, we actually can show up in a really unique space. And we've done that for a lot of teams where it may be that the 1 day training is about 7 hours of content, but we schedule 8 or 9 because we know there's going to be an hour in there where we're going to have to bring up and address the grief, the adversity, some of those challenges that are weighing heavy on us so that we can actually then move the team forward into some of these tools and strategies. And that's where we bring that uniqueness to, yes, these globally recognized training programs.
That sounds perfect to me. Well, is there anything else you want to tell us about these trainings, or maybe where people could find out more information or have a call with us?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing about these trainings is because of how they're offered, we can really tailor it to the organization. And that's where our information calls are so important, because we can see where your organization is at and where you want to go. And then we can help tailor and design a team development program that's going to work and make sense for you. And the best way to do that, to get that information call, is to go to our website, which is www.zoomentalhealthsupport.com. And you can click on the different trainings. If you scroll down a little bit, it's got trainings. Go ahead, click in there, and you can set up that information call. You can also, if you go directly to contact us, and you'll find a Sign Up Genius link where you can schedule a time. We'll touch base and really get that information and figure out what those next steps look like for you. If you're someone who's just interested in the training, maybe not necessarily at the organization level, some of these things we can do in one-on-one coaching, so we can dive deeper into them. Or we can look at other options to really get those skills and that training and information in your hands. So we can work with you.